Hey, it's Dr. Ganatra, founder of Dental Practice Mastery and the creator of this 3-part Marketing Mastery series where I'm going to teach you how to get volumes of new patients into your practice. You know, if you saw my last video, we talked a lot about what we called the online presence triangle. That's exactly what this is. It's a triangle of 4 things that you need to be doing online. If you haven't watched the video, click on the link below this video. You can check it out. And for those that you watched and those of you that left me a comment and also emailed me, thank you for all the wonderful comments and emails on that video. You're going to love what you see in this one. So in this video, what we're going to be going over, I'm going to teach you exactly what marketing for your practice is today. What is marketing today? And second, I'm going to give you some resources that really you can tap into as soon as we're done with this video. You can get onto these resources, tap into these, and really start setting your practice up online to get volumes of new patients in every month. You know, for as long as I can remember, if you know my story, long time ago, when I first started practicing in 2002, I spent, I think it was like $8,000 to $10,000 on postcard mailers. And I was so excited to get these postcards out there, and I signed up with all these list companies to get a bunch of postcards out there. Had this nice glossy postcard. I sent it out all for $10,000, and you know how many phone calls I got from that postcard? 1. Unfortunately, just 1. And to my surprise, I thought that I was going to get hundreds of calls because I spent so much money on postcards, and it really didn't work that way. And the person that called in for that promotion really just wanted a cleaning. So they came into my office. They didn't really need anything else. We gave them some great service, and bam, they're off on their way. And that's what we got out of the $10,000 we spent on the mailers. So I really started thinking, what else do we have to do to get new patients in the office? And as I figured it out and I sequenced it out in my mind and I structured out what was working, and I had a mindset on what marketing was and what marketing was turning into for dental practices, I really started seeing some massive results. And that's what I want to share with you today. How do we do that? How do we get volumes of new patients into our practice every month? If you know what, last year we got over 600 new patients in one of my practices last year alone. And for as long as I can remember, I've been consistently getting 40 to 60 new patients a month. And imagine getting that many new patients a month, and imagine kind of feeling the confidence of knowing that, hey, you can get people into your practice and you can actually serve them at the highest level because you believe in your business and your practice and your dentistry and your team, that, you know what? If you can get these people in, you can actually give the level of service that you want to give. Because if you don't have people coming in your office, you can't generate the revenue and really perpetuate the message or the service of your practice, right? So you need to have the people coming in so that way you can enhance that service and that message of your practice. So how do we do that? What do we do to kind of set up and get that going? Well, in that last video, we talked about that online presence triangle, where we said your website and the video marketing and social marketing and email marketing should all be connected, right? I went into that overview structure of what that presence triangle is. And in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 points of reference that you really have to focus on to get people into your practice and to actually have that psychology of what marketing your office means today. It's not doing one thing. Dentists always want to know, oh, what's that one thing that you're doing to market your practice? 15 or 20 years ago, it may have been sending out a postcard, or it may have been sending out a mail piece. Well, today it's not one thing. Today, marketing is having that mindset, first of all, of what I need to do, specifically online, and how I need to do it, so that way I'm getting a ton of people that come to me. If you, I don't know if you heard the news, but very recently, Facebook just bought WhatsApp. I don't know if you've heard of this messaging service. It's called WhatsApp. It's a company called WhatsApp, WhatsApp, and it's a text messaging service. I use it on my phone as well, and essentially what it does, it enables you to text message anyone in the world who has this app for free. And you can send pictures, you can send video, whatever it is. Well, essentially, they bought WhatsApp for $19 billion. And this was a company that was founded maybe in 2009 and has less than 50 people in the whole entire company. And get this, it doesn't even have a marketing or PR department. Imagine that, a company bought for billions. You may have or may have not heard of that company, WhatsApp. But a company that you may or may not have heard of was bought for $19 billion. And it didn't have a marketing or PR department. That's the world that we're living in today, folks. That is what's happening today with marketing today. Okay, so let's focus on what we need to do. How did that company get bought out? Why did they buy WhatsApp for $19 billion? Well, one of the reasons was that specific company had 450 million users, right? 450 million people that use their service online to text each other. And the volume of their text messages online was equivalent to the volume of almost equivalent to the volume of all the text messages that are sent and received throughout the world today. So these guys had a huge market share of text messages. So what I'm trying to get at, without going into a tangent, is the fact that, you know what? Things that are out there as far as volume is concerned, when you get your service out there, and you get your service out there in front of a lot of people, and you get eyeballs on your product or service, you're automatically increasing the value of it. So if you're a dental practice like I am, and if you own your own practice, if you get people looking at your office online, now you've instantly tapped into the chance of them coming into your practice. So what do I mean by the chance? What I mean by that is this: if you hit these three things that I'm going to talk about what marketing is today, it's going to be highly likely that they're going to come into your practice. So what's the first thing that you really have to keep in mind? You have to know how to position yourself. Okay, so once you've spread your presence online, you spread this online presence, and you've kind of taken it and you put it into specific areas online, you have to know how to position yourself. How do you position yourself as the expert in your field, so that way you're the go-to guy for Invisalign, or you're the go-to guy for, mercury filling removal, or you're the go-to guy for porcelain veneers, or for sleep dentistry, or for perio? How do you position yourself so that when patients look online, you're the person that shows up? How do you show up first in the Google searches for, gum surgery in Houston, Texas, or gum surgery in Orange County, or teeth whitening in Orange County, or teeth whitening in, Florida? How do you do that? Well, there is a way to do that with our online presence triangle that we discussed last time. We have to put valuable content out there. And that leads me to the second thing. Today, marketing is about positioning yourself and putting out valuable content, right? So what do I mean by valuable content? Well, if you think about what's happening right now, 80% of the searches online have to do with some sort of healthcare information. So people are going online and they're searching. 80 out of 100 people that are searching, 80 out of 100 of those searches has to do with trying to find out the solution to a healthcare problem. You and I, as dentists, we're part of the healthcare industry. We're dentists. So if we could put some valuable content online in regards to healthcare and dentistry and specifics about that, and we know how to put it online so it equates to that online presence triangle of, we can connect it to our website, we can connect it to our video, we can connect it to our social media. If we know how to do that and put that value on there, that huge sphere of people, or that globe of people that are online, will start now funneling into our practices, right? So once again, it's not just one thing that we do from a marketing standpoint that drives people into our office. Like I said, I'm using that example of that company, WhatsApp, how they got bought out for $19 billion when they were barely making any revenue, and they just had, eyeballs, 450 million users. Okay, or I shouldn't say eyeballs alone, because they're not only looking at the service, they're actually using it. So how can we apply that to us? If we position ourselves as the expert in a specific area of dentistry, and we add that value through putting out specific content on that area of dentistry through videos, through emails, through our blog posts, then we can go in there and build a relationship with our audience, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to build relationships with our potential patients before they come into our practice. So how do we take what our concept of marketing is today, which is really positioning ourselves, adding value to our viewer base, and building relationships? How do we take that and utilize that to drive new patients into our practice? Well, first of all, what we got to do is use a few resources. The first thing is we need to use the resource of online directories. So online directories. Hopefully you can read that. So we need to use a resource of online directories. Before the end of this video, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of a super helpful index of how we can look at all the directories that are online and how we can look at how our practice rates in these directories online. Okay, so wait for that. In a few minutes, I'm going to go into that and show you behind the screen exactly what this index looks like, and it'll give us all the directories that our practice is listed online. And then it'll also give us the opportunity to kind of make sure all that information online is correct. So that way we know that all the stuff that we're doing, which is positioning ourselves, adding value, and building relationships, we can take all that content and place it online through these directories, right? And the second thing we got to do is we have to master the phones. You see, if you get 10 new patients a month, the first question you got to ask yourself is, okay, we booked 10 new patients on the schedule. How many people called the practice but did not get booked? Were you open at the right times? Were you answering the phone when you were there? And if you answered the phone, did your front office make sure that they made the connection with the patient to actually get them into the practice? Did all of this happen in a sequence that was friendly for the patient? So I want you to be able to master the phones, okay? This is something that will immediately drive new patients in your practice. If you're on the directories and you've mastered the phones, you're automatically, without spending any money, you're gonna start getting new patients into your practice. So let me just dive into, let's get behind the screen, and I will show you exactly the resource that I use, that I love, that I use as an index or a Rolodex in a way, to find all the online directories out there on the internet. And there's over 50 to 60, maybe even 100 plus online directories out there that your practice should be on. Not only should it be on, it should be listed correctly with the right phone number, and it should be verified and claimed online. So let's just jump into that area behind the screen and let's show you what that looks like. All right, so you're back. So you saw what that looks like. That's pretty amazing resource online. I want you to really, as soon as this video is done, jump onto that, get to work, and start making sure that your practice is listed accurately on these online directories. And then secondly, what I'm also going to do is give you another resource below this video where you can actually download my 10 keys to mastering the phones. This is something that you can go over with your team, and also something that you can give your team so that way they know that every day they're hitting these 10 points on the phones. Because remember, it doesn't matter how many patients call our practice. If we can't take that phone call and turn it into an appointment in our appointment book in Dentrix or EagleSoft, then you know what? That patient's not going to come into the office. And it's not going to matter that we're on the directories, and it's not going to matter that we're adding all that value to that patient. What we want is that patient to come back into our practice, and we want that happening because they called or they made an online appointment, right? So below this video, download the 10 keys to mastering the phones PDF document. Share that with your team, review it, go over it, and realize that we got two things that we got to do. We got to set up our online presence triangle. Watch that last video if you haven't watched it of how to set that up, what you need to have in that triangle, your website, your video, your social media, and your email, how that all connects together. And then we have to understand what the heck is marketing, right? It's not sending out a mailer. It's not just doing some, postcard or writing some sort of a promotion on Facebook. It's positioning value in relationships. And finally, how do we take all that and put it online? You know, I go into this in a lot more detail in my online mentorship program, in my marketing mastery mentorship program. I'll tell you a lot more about that in the next video, but as far as this video is concerned, I really want you to dive into this, use these resources, and start getting going and get a move on this stuff, because you know what? This is the most immediate way you're going to start seeing a difference in driving more new patients into your practice without spending a ton of money. And I guarantee you, when you start doing some of the research on your practice, I guarantee you it's not going to be listed as accurately as you think you're listed out there. Get yourself out there. The more presence you have online, the more people will see you. People will come in and they'll funnel into the online world, into your own dental world in your practice. So I hope this video helped. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought. And I can't wait to share some of my thoughts with you in the next video, where I'm going to go over something huge with you that will really change the game as far as, you know, how we can do this and how I can help you as far as guide you to do this in a way that not only is easy, but it's very comprehensive, okay? So I'm gonna share some of those things with you in the next video. Until then, get moving on this, and thanks for watching.